It's got the customer's battery in it, and it's a pile. Let's go take a look. Welcome back to the channel where you learn how to clean your old cars with your kitchen gadgets and stuff and things. And today we're trying out something a little different. Now, I am a fan of the SOS pad wash, but if you know these guys right here, they work great. This is about half used, what they look like, and then they dwindle down to just about nothing. And this is basically quad steel wool is what they would call it in the hardware store without the soapiness. But I've noticed from time to time working on a car, the quality control of this steel wool might not be up to par with stuff you'd get like at a refinishing store or something that you would at a hardware store that is purpose built for, you know, obtaining a certain finish. Because every once in a while you'll leave little swirls. There's like a little sharp edge or something that's not the same as everything else in here that leaves circles. And maybe you push too hard, I don't know. But that's what I notice. So if you've been on the interwebs watching videos on different places about restoring paint on these old cars, you've probably heard of the Comet Wash. And that is taking kitchen bathroom powder cleanser, you know, the stuff from way back in the day, and you sprinkle it on there and you rub that into the paint, and it's supposed to do about the same thing as the SOS pad, but people claim better results. Okay, fine. So that's what we're going to do to the 66 F250. I've already bucket washed it. It's sitting out here, pressure washers laying next to it. We got buckets, we got a soapy water bucket, we got a rinse water bucket, the pressure washers all hooked up, and we're going to Comet wash the 66 F250. But there's a problem. I forgot to stop at the grocery stores and get a thing of Comet, and I know I've got some, but I can't find it. So we dug around the house and we found this Ajax easy cleaner. It's got some bleach in it, I think, too, but it's I think it's the same stuff basically. And I actually did a little digging around on the interweb, and there's a guy, you might know him, you might not, David Fries and Burgers. He claims that after using Comet for a very long time, this stuff's better. Well, this is what we have, and this is what we're going to use. Now, I haven't watched any videos on how the application process actually goes. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of get the surface wet, take a cotton rag, sprinkle the magic dust on there, and just scrub, and then rinse it off and repeat, and go around the whole dang truck. And in some of these areas, now we might have to hit, let me show you here, well, like the mirror brackets, they're pitted and rusty. We'll hit those with SOS for sure. Some of this stuff where it's pitted pretty good, we might have to go over this with an SOS pad just to get the orangey rusty color out. We'll see how the Ajax does. And then like back here, this might require SOS. We should be able to get this all cleaned up with both between the two, and then add on. And like here, we might go over this with SOS just to get the surface rust beat down, because then when we go back and buff and everything else and put some protectant on all this stuff, life will be pretty good. Same thing here. This might require some SOS in here, just so that when we're putting a protective coating on, it'll have better metal to stick to. That's the plans. I'm gonna get you guys on a tripod in kind of a neat spot so where you can watch this. We should have plenty of daylight left. It's a beautiful day. Okay, so here's your close-up, and see how we've got orangey here, and we've just got that red oxide primer here, and a little bit of white under there for some reason, and some fabrics from the wash mitt. But here's what I'm talking about on the rust. See, every little pock mark kind of has a halo or a cloud of rust around it, and over here we don't see that. We're going to come along here with the SOS pad, and then we're going to do this section here with the SOS pad and see if it's better here than there. The one thing I observed, and you probably can tell by now, the difference in these two methods is, for the Ajax or the Comet, the abrasiveness is in the stuff, in the powder. For the SOS, the steel wool is the abrasive, and then it just has soap impregnated into it. So that's our differences. Let's I'm going to do this. I'm going to shut you off. We'll do the other side of this one panel here, and I think I forgot to do the bottom half of the door, so we'll do that with Ajax, this little part with steel wool with the SOS pad, and we'll check them out. So we just did to about here with the SOS pad, and then we also touched up the bottom. It cleaned up the more rustier bits a lot better, and I'm going to tell you, half if not less physical effort and scrubbing with the SOS pad to get this to look about the same as this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue on, and I think in the essence of time and energy, we're going to switch to SOS pads and finish this truck off. I'm not saying Ajax is bad. I'm just saying that maybe we've got too many pock marks, rusty pock marks, for the Ajax to be efficient, you know, other than maybe on the top parts. But I'm going to show you. In fact, take a look at this, take a snapshot. Now I'm going to go over this with the SOS pad and bring it back. In fact, you can watch along in here. Just get a little bit of water. Yeah, see, I mean, we've still got stuff showing through, but it's not nearly as orange. We don't have the clouds and the rust bleeding around every pockmark like we had. So that's what we're gonna have to do in a lot of this. I'm gonna get after it. As you can see, we're losing daylight quickly. I'm gonna shut you down. We'll catch you up inside when this is all done. I've got updates, or welcome back to the channel, because I don't know if I ended the old Ajax wash vidya or if I just said, hey, I'll check back in when we start buffalizing on the 66. But we're there, and so far results are very nice. I mean, look at the shine. These are the reflections of the lights in the ceiling. Over here, we're a little dulled out just because we've worn through more of the paint, but where there's enough paint to hold the shine, it's doing its job. However, that's not why I clicked the old camera on these really old cars that have been sitting out in the sun for 50 years, and then you go and buff on them. It's hard unless you have some sort of mechanical advantage to knock that first layer, that really rough layer of crud and paint off. So Derek, the vice gripper, he made SOS pads, you know, come to the top of the information pile. And then since then we've had Comet Wash, Ajax Wash, and of those two, Ajax seemed to be preferred. Well, we started on this truck, I did, with the Ajax. And I did the hood, and I think I did the top. I don't remember. But I started, and I know I did the hood with the Ajax. And then as I went along, it became very clear that the Ajax wasn't cutting it, especially when it came to like this kind of stuff where you've got rust coming through and you need the scrub. The Ajax isn't doing it there. Over here on this fender, this filler panel here was almost all brown. Ajax would not have touched that. SOS pad got the silver back in as much as it could. And then on the hip of this fender, this was all rusty. Ajax would not have brought this back to this, what I would consider an attractive patina versus just rust. So anyway, about, I don't know, a third of the way into the truck, I switched. I went back to SOS pads. I'm glad I did. And here's why. We're buffalizing on the hood of this rig. We did the top, and it took quite a bit of buffing to get to where we're happy up here. And then we came down to the hood, and this is after, I mean, not this corner, but up here in this area. See this reflection here, how just foggy it is? That's after gobs of buffing. It's almost like a hard water stain. It just didn't ever get that top crust leveled out or scratched off. And when you go over it with the buffer, it takes more paint, but the pad doesn't have the muscle and the chemical doesn't have the muscle it takes to really get that surface flat. You're just buffing an uneven surface. You're still taking paint and you're still buffing away like crazy, but you're unable to actually flatten that surface, if that makes any sense. So what we're going to do, we're going to stop right now. Our humpus here doesn't look too bad, but you can even see the cloudiness. And I hope it shows up on the GoPro. I don't know. Over here, obviously we're worse on this side, but you can still see some cloudiness. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an SOS pad and we're going to lightly go over this section here because it only got Ajax. And then we're going to dry everything off, clean it off, and buff again. And I'll hopefully be able to show you that the cloudiness and just the overall roughness of the paint is better to work with after the SOS.
One eternity later.
You're seeing this after the fact, but there was a span there of about probably almost 3 weeks where we didn't have a video go out. Well, that's all under the bridge of water, and but we had to get caught back up. So we just worked, and one of the things that we had to get moving on and get done is this. And I apologize, not a ton of in-depth video. We just hunkered down and got her finished up. The 66 F250 352 4-speed 3/4 ton, all that good jazz is done. We buffed up the paint, shined it all up, hand waxed it when we were done. We've got some custom filler panels in the side here where it really rusted bad. Just the recap, we did a partial driver's pan on that side, a couple patches on this side. The customer picked out the tan seat cover and the tan carpet, and neither one of us was sure until right about now, but it looks great. I'm a little bit disappointed. You know, this isn't just a slip over seat cover, it's the hog ring style. You put it on like the pros, and the back is nice. The front, I could not get this, and it's like this on both front rounded edges, and maybe one of you upholstery people can explain why, but I tried putting more foam up here, and then we even brought this out a little bit more than it's supposed to, and couldn't get it. But this is, I think it'll be all right. That the other side's not as bad because I've been getting in and out over there, and so I think eventually, you know, they'll get themselves in. We did our cheapo Menards entry mat floor mats. Go back and watch that video. It's an oldie, but yeah, for $8, build your own floor mats. Polished up stuff. We polished the mirrors best we could. They were pretty darn rusty. We've got some protection over the bare metal, and I'm going to do a separate video on that pretty soon. Wheels and tires are all shined up, torquified, all that good stuff. You know, one thing I was gonna talk myself into and try to talk the owner of this truck into was go ahead and getting a spray can of the Wimbledon white and painting this front bumper, but we SOS the heck out of it and then buffed what was left, and I just really like the look of the front of this truck. Underneath the hoods here, hang on some more. No, hang on some more. There we go. Nope. Hang on. There. Golly. The old 352, we kept their stock, but we did pull the engine, sealed things up, water pump, hoses, fuel pump. Customer sprung for some chrome valve cover gaskets, and he asked for headers, so we got these headers on there. They're doing really well so far. I accidentally ran over his factory radiator with the DeSoto, so we sprung for a fancy new 3-core aluminum radiator. It's lovely. It's going to live with this battery for a little while, but heater hoses, and then we detailed all this out in here. Valve stem seals, spark plugs, clutch, that kind of good stuff. It's got all the new brakes, wheel cylinders. Shoes were like new, so we left those, they were riveted, and some new hard lines, all new rubber lines, a new hard lines in the back, and the master cylinder was good, so we didn't have to do that. Here's a peek in on the driver's side, and see, this is what I'm talking about. This corner here is coming around. The more you seem to sit on it, there's a big lump under here where this seam and all this stuff comes together, and it just doesn't. I love the back, and I love the colors. It's perfect. It's a nice contrast to the turquoise, but it blends in with the Wimbledon white in the doors and the dash. Horn works, we fixed that. All the lights work, even the hazards work. Windshield wipe, everything works on the truck. Life is good. We polished up the aluminum sill plates here. They're lovely. We did a little bit of work, just touch up spray bomb paint match color here because we did a little rust repair here, and so clean that up. Did the same on the other side, and life is pretty darn good. One little sticker. Oh, and he got the free air freshener too. Now on the back, hey Mackie, we kept it pretty simple. This was really rusty, so we took this out, sandblasted it, painted it, and then we wire brushed the bumper, and now it's got dirt all over it because I put these tires and wheels back in it, and hit it with the Rust-Oleum hammered silver, and it really looks nice, guys and gals. And it was missing a hinge, and it had a broken bolt for where the hinge attaches. We found a hinge at one of the local scrappers places, and then yes, dual exhaust all the way out the back, and I think that's about it. Let's reach in, see if it'll impress us. It's got the customer's battery in it, and it's a pile. Okay, We got known good battery, 30 feet of squiggly wires to the pile battery. Let's try this again. Yeah, works. Here's our dual exhaust. Sounds good, no smoke because we did the valve stem seal. Just a good running truck. And then up here, no exhaust leaks. You know, we used to play around way back in the day with headers all the time, and they came with them paper gaskets. And go watch the video from this header installation, but this has those like leaded metal gaskets like you do for exhaust manifolds. That's the way to go, I'm telling you. Anyway, this one's down the road. Now down the highway, because it's an old farm truck and 3/4 ton 4-speed, no overdrive, about 57-ish, and I would guess that that's 2900 RPM. So no interstate for this old rig for sure, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out through our trials and tribulations. You know, we're not a YouTube channel first. We're a restoration and repair shop first, and the YouTube, we try. We really do try. Appreciate you though for sticking around. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.